Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. How y'all doing today? Real tired today. This daylight saving time, I just ain't been able to get it together. I don't have the energy. I really don't feel like doing this video. I think we gonna get through this. I don't know if Black Girls on TV is gonna happen tomorrow, you guys. This is my 4th video this week, you guys. It's the videos. Ooh, they take some. Anyway, what did we come here to talk about? First story up, Angie Stone. Every single rock star known to mankind reached out to me on the day that Angie Stone busted her daughter's grill up. I have Instagram just like everybody else. I got Instagram messages, I got tweets, I got Facebook messages. I was just like, yes, I see it. Thank you guys all so much for looking out. Anyway, Angie Stone got into a fight with her daughter, 30-year-old Diamond. I was just like, now they was just on the show last year. When did the daughter turn 30? They kept on making it seem like the daughter was only like in her early 20s and now she's 30. Supposedly Angie and her daughter Diamond, the daughter lives with Angie Stone. They got into a confrontation at the house. Angie Stone supposedly was upset with Diamond because her damn kids was running around there like some old babies, no clothes on and tearing up shit. She's not keeping them clean and keeping the house clean. So Angie Stone was fussing at the daughter about this and telling her to keep the kids in her room. Somewhere that discussion escalated all the way to supposedly, now this was the first report, supposedly they started struggling. Angie Stone's daughter Diamond hit Angie Stone, and then Angie Stone just kind of blacked out after that. Supposedly picked up a stand. I thought it was they kept saying a metal stand. I kept thinking a metal stool, but yeah, I don't care what the fuck it is. You pick that up, she must have swung and it hit the girl, you know, about right around into this region right here. And yeah, I guess when you get your fucking teeth knocked out, that might bring, you know, that might bring you back down to reality, okay? Clear out that blackout, you know. I guess Angie was like, oh damn, I ain't mean to do that. The police was called. They were both taken down and Diamond was released. Angie Stone was arrested for aggravated assault, I believe. Aggravated domestic assault. Yeah, something like that, you guys. So, of course, when the news hit, everybody had their opinions on Angie Stone and the daughter. You know, the daughter is a grown-ass woman with kids living in the house with Angie Stone. She shouldn't have hit on her mama. When you hit somebody, all bets is off. Okay, now it's time we just scrapping. Okay, nigga, you want to come to me like this, then this is how I'm gonna come to you. Okay, this kind of all boils down to, you know, you shouldn't have no 2 grown-ass women, 2 full families living under the same roof. It just ain't never a good idea, especially when you don't get along. We already knew from the TV show that Diamond and Angie Stone do not get along. I don't know what exactly is wrong with Diamond that she can't get out on her own. I mean, yeah, shit, times is hard. I understand you got kids, but really? I mean, when you have so much animosity, or, you know, just before we get to this fight, when you got so many problems with the person, but you living under their roof, I mean, what the fuck? Go get you a job somewhere and provide on your own. It was like a powder keg. I mean, you already knew that it was problems there. You continue to stay there. You know, Angie Stone probably tired of looking at her and them kids. And yeah, the shit escalates. Now, do I think that is good that Angie Stone did that? No. Like, you know, we can laugh and joke about it, but you know, you done busting motherfuckers in the mouth with metal stands and shit. You really could have killed them. And if the person hit you, can we just fight with our hands? But, you know, now they're saying that the reason why the daughter was released is because the daughter didn't even hit Angie Stone. The daughter put out a statement saying that everybody has all their opinions and that's not the truth, and you guys are just sticking with her because she's the celebrity and she's a known person, and I didn't hit her, and why do you think I was released from jail, and I'm gonna make sure that my story is heard. You're not with me, you're against me, and you know, all this dramatics. You know, all of that, even I was just like, shut up, Diamond. Because fucking get a job and get out your mother's fucking house. So, I mean, the whole thing all the way around is messed up. I guess if we didn't really already have a peek into Angie Stone and Diamond Stone's life and I already know that is some fuck shit with the two of them already, you know, but I don't know. I don't think I feel sorry for either one of them. And then when I saw the pictures released of her mouth, I had sent the picture to my friend Simone because I was so grossed out because her mouth looked gross to me already. And when I looked at the picture, they weren't just clean knocked out. It was like she was leaned back and opening her mouth so you could see into her, you know, the teeth. They were like broke off. And I was like, ugh, like that whole thing was gross. Her lips was all crusty and white. And I was like, she struck me as a bitch that don't take care of her mouth too much anyway. Okay. And then sure enough, we find out that her teeth were already rotted. And she was like, well, that's not the point though. Even if they were rotted out, they were still in there. Let her hold on to her raggedy yuck mouth ass teeth. So I'm just like, you know, the whole thing, like when she was on the show, was her teeth rotted out? Like what happens? What happens to, I don't know. But she ain't got, they was already rotted and just hanging on for dear life. And I guess when that middle stand came, them motherfuckers was like, thank you, we out. Anyway, y'all, it's a sad thing. Mother and daughter fighting. I mean, you know, I just couldn't imagine fighting with my mom and getting into shit like this. I mean, when you get to be a certain age, it's time for you to go. I mean, you was grown enough to have fucking kids and all of this. And yeah, you take your ass out. That's it. We gonna see what happens with Angie Stone. You know, R&B Divas Atlanta is off. I don't even really care. Okay, Angie Stone, you know, I always thought that she was kind of full of shit on the show anyway. You know, always on. Where was her oils then? Why you wasn't blessing folks' foreheads while you was fucking them up with these stands? All of that there is just too bad. It's a very sad story, actually. At least maybe now the girl will get us some new teeth. Pharrell and Robin Thicke lost very big in court this week. You guys can remember the song Blurred Lines and what a mega hit that song was. When it first came out, it was all over the place. It made somewhere around $17 million. Just that one single. When you first heard the song, at least when I first heard the song, immediately I thought of Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up. And I figured that they had gone through the proper channels to get the sample clearance and, you know, went on from there. I mean, who we're working with Pharrell and Robin Thicke, two people that are not new to the music game. Pharrell, who's a producer and knows all the ins and outs of this type of thing. So yeah, I didn't give it no other thought. Then after some time, I started to hear stories about how they said that the song was inspired by Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up, but they did not use samples, which was still crazy to me because when I would listen to the song, I mean, I can remember being in Vegas and them playing that song and they were actually mixing it with Got to Give It Up at the same time. We were in the club dancing and they were playing both, you know, both together. It's in the same key. I mean, the whole thing. So when he said that the song was inspired by and not any samples, clearly in my mind, it's clear that the inspiration of that song, if that's what you want to call it, is still a direct, you know, they definitely took from that. So then I was like, but why is he saying that? Come to find out that they had filed a preemptive court case against the Gaye's estate to try to keep the Marvin Gaye family estate from suing them for making this song sound very similar to Got to Give It Up. And the shit has backfired. Okay, not only did they lose in that case, they now have to pay the Gaye estate back. They both made, you know, a little bit over $5 million apiece, both Robin Thicke and Pharrell. T.I., who was like the featured rapper on that song, he got $700,000. Now T.I. is in the clear because I don't think he's gotten any type of producer credits or anything like that. He was just, you know, they just paid him to be on there. However, Robin Thicke and Pharrell, now they got to come on up off some money. Okay, the estate won the court case. They have to pay them back I think it was $7.4 million. So that's a big loss. And I just, you know, as much as I like Pharrell and I'm cool with Robin Thicke as well, I just don't know how you could have been so careless to make something so close. If it is indeed inspired, then to make something so close to the sound of the song, it just, why didn't he just go through what he had to do to get the clearance? I mean, there's no way that you cannot hear it. He even tried to say, I think they said in court, that he doesn't really see the similarities there. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it kind of started to sound like a case of where, you know, once you come up with your one story, you got to stick with that shit, even when you start to realize that maybe your story is some bullshit, but you just like, let me stick with it because I got a lot of shit on the line. And it is. This is a extreme blow. especially for Pharrell. Okay, because Pharrell is respected in the music industry. I mean, he worked one time, he was the music director for the Oscars, I can remember. He just has extreme respect. A lot of people really, you know, trust and respect the things that Pharrell has done, but this is not good. It's not gonna put him out. This is not gonna knock him out of the count, but this is definitely a blemish on what will eventually be his legacy. And then they're saying that, you know, this case might eventually bring about frivolous lawsuits where people just think that anything that they hear in songs is, you know, they could sue the artist because they're like, well, that sounds like mine, okay, and they could, you know, so now they're worried that because they won this case, people might start coming out of the woodworks and just trying to sue any old body just over some bullshit and one little note, and you could say that was mine. And I don't know if how that will work, but I do know that this song, Got to Give It Up, and Blurred Lines was entirely too close to even. And now they're trying to, I was watching on, I think, CNN last night. They were interviewing Marvin Gaye's wife and her lawyer, and they had mentioned there was another song, Happy. You know, they think that song Happy sounds a lot like Ain't That Peculiar. Now, it's not that similar, and I can kind of hear a little bit of Ain't That Peculiar and Happy, but it's not close enough to me that I think that they would have a case. I'm sure they thought about it, even though you know, when they were on the show, they were like, well, we're not, you know, gonna sue anymore. And, you know, yeah, I don't know about that, because, you know, all money is good money. But I can hear where the inspiration would be, but I don't know if I could really say that they copied it. It was another song from back in the 60s by a white group that Happy also kind of get you in the mindset of. But yes, I mean, you know, we don't want to pick on Pharrell. I mean, clearly there are other songs that we've heard also that kind of reminds you of something else. But yeah, I'm just thinking in this case, it's too close. Now, the bad part about the Marvin Gaye estate winning so much money, I was reading on Instagram. I follow this guy named Artemis Gordon. I think that's the name of it. I'll put the name on here. He's really an interesting Instagram blogger. He was talking about, well, first of all, the Marvin Gaye estate has like a lot of back taxes that they owe. So most of that money is probably going to go to lawyers and the IRS, who Marvin Gaye's estate still owes, and then whatever money that's left over will go on to the family. Well, the family has supposedly been plagued with drug issues for a long time. You guys remember Nona Gaye she was like Prince's, you know, she was the one for Prince and he was pushing her along, and then all of a sudden she had fallen off, and that's, they say, because she was on drugs. And when you saw her and the mother and the brother on the TV, she still looks like she's loaded. She doesn't look nothing like how she uses. She's a beautiful girl. She's still a very pretty woman, but she's gained a lot of weight, and she's just, it just looks like there's still something there. And she was crying and carrying on in front of the courthouse. I was just like, I mean, I'm sure that they're relieved and glad it's done and over, but the crying, so that's why I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. You giving all this money to these people that have drug issues. I mean, was this going to benefit them in the long run? Yeah, so the whole thing is just, you know, it ain't really the best story all the way around. I mean, Pharrell and Robin Thicke are out $7 and something million. All of this work only for it to pretty much go to IRS and the lawyer fees. And then, of course, the gay families and all their skeletons that they have. So, but that is the story. We'll see if anything else comes about from these different people trying to sue artists for music that they feel has been stolen from them. You guys leave below what you guys think about all of that. That Nick Gordon fiasco, yes, you guys know I am so tired of talking about this whole Bobby Christina thing, but I have to talk about it. I have to talk about Nick Gordon on Dr. Phil yesterday. I'm not no big Dr. Phil fan. I know that he was discovered by Oprah and she really did endorse him, and you know, he's come on, he's got his show and everything. When I look at Dr. Phil and I listen to him, he sounds like a used car salesman to me. I'm sure he's a nice enough man, but very opportunistic. And I mean, I guess I can't fault the man. He has a TV show, he has ratings, he has, you know, he's concerned about the bottom line, obviously so. But when they decided to do this interview with Nick Gordon, I was just like, you know, I had told you guys already, I didn't think that it was going to happen, or that, you know, he wasn't going to get on there and talk about, per se, exactly what happened with Bobby Christina, because he is in the middle of a criminal investigation, and it would be stupid of him and for his lawyers to allow him to go on a show and kind of do his own self in. So of course they changed it up and made it seem like instead of it being an interview, that it would be an intervention. So they have Nick Gordon there. Right before the show aired, we saw videos started being on Instagram and Twitter and everything of, you know, Nick Gordon just fucked up, couldn't stand, you know, he's mumbling and he's, you know, people are trying to help him up, and you know, it was kind of this shaky video of him and definitely not at his best moment. Okay, so you kind of, everybody is saying, oh, Nick Gordon, he's, you know, he's falling apart and all of this. So that was what came out ahead of the show. Then the show aired. You got Dr. Phil, you have his mother there. His mother flew in from Florida, and the mom is very soft-spoken, and she's just explaining how, you know, Nick came to meet the Houstons. The story, like the shit that you've heard in the past, and then this story, the shit and stuff ain't lining up. But what the mom said is that Nick Gordon moved in with Whitney Houston when he was 18 years old. He and Bobby Christina were best friends, and Bobby Christina was 12 years old. She convinced Whitney to let him move in with them. I had read somewhere that the reason why he moved in with them is because the mama had them put him out and he didn't have nowhere else to go. So he was 18 years old, not the 12 and the 13 that we had heard in the past. She was 12 years old. So now we got the you know, why is she 12 and he 18 and they best friends? Who 18 years old want to even be fucking around with a 12-year-old? Okay, so that was the question that I was really wanting Dr. Phil to ask, but I guess he was like, we ain't here to talk about that. We here to talk about Bobby. But my whole question was just like, why the fuck is your grown son best friends with this 12-year-old? And then, okay, so he moves in with them. They were determined to make us, you know, have always said over the years that Bobby, Christina, and he were never sexual. They were like brothers. They raised them like brother and sister. But now that I'm really listening to the story, I'm like 18, 12, yeah, there was a relationship there. Whitney Houston was blinded to it, either because, you know, she just let her daughter just do whatever the fuck she wanted to do or what, but she let the boy move in with the girl, and yeah, I'm just like, yeah, they've been fucking around for a long time and kept that shit under wraps. I feel like the reason why Bobby Brown doesn't really approve of him is because he didn't have no say. He couldn't do anything because he and Whitney Houston weren't together anymore. So, you know, he kind of had to just sit back, and this is all just me. This is what I'm thinking. It might not be true, but I'm saying that he probably had to sit back and know that his daughter and the mama had to move the daughter's nigga in the house, and he grown and all of this. Okay, so that whole thing was fucked up to begin with, and Whitney got this boy living there as a man and her daughter. Okay, then we find out that the mom says that Whitney Houston and Bobby Christina both had drug and drinking problems, so they went to rehab, and they took along with them old Nick for moral support. Now what the fuck kind of sense does that make? And not only did they take him once, they took him 3 times. So he went with them supposedly 3 times to rehabilitation because they had problems and he didn't. So okay, clearly the mama is in denial. Your damn son was fucked up just like the rest of them were, and they was all going to rehabilitation and trying to get a hold of it. Then we find out that the mom says that, you know, he was there when Whitney Houston drowned, and, you know, he was upset because he tried to give her CPR and it wouldn't work. And I side-eyed that too, because I was just like, now I remember, you know, the reports of all that whole time when all that went down, and I never heard anything about Nick Gordon being there. As a matter of fact, I remember hearing that Bobby Christina couldn't even hardly get in the room once the police and all that got there, that they was holding Bobby Christina from getting inside. Okay, so now if the daughter can't get in the fucking room, then why is it that he can get in the, you know? So like all this, I'm listening to the mother and I'm just like, yeah, this is not making sense. Okay, then they set it up that, okay, well, we're not going to talk about the whole Bobby Christina because, you know, Dr. Phil's like, you know, I know that he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be dead within a week if he keeps on going on like this. So let's treat this as an intervention and try to get him off to rehab. Just like I said, they not going to let this boy get on there and incriminate himself. So, you know, Nick Gordon gets on out there. Well, then, you know, Dr. Phil goes and gets him. Who is this walking around in the parking lot? He was strange looking. Look, he's trying to talk to this white man next to me. Look, the man just pulled off. He's crazy looking, you guys. I hope he don't know I'm in the back. He said, you got a quarter. Ooh, I hope he don't come up to my window. He don't know I'm back here, y'all. The motherfuckers. I'm scared. Oh my God, I don't want him to see me. He got this real crazy mad look on his face. There's somebody else parked. Oh my God. Y'all. Anyway. He is like on a mission. He's walking around this parking lot just like walking up to everybody. He looked like he gonna swing on somebody. That motherfucker come over here, y'all. It's gonna be a misunderstanding. Oh my God, he's coming back, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm trying to. He coming to somebody else parked in front of me. He coming over there. Let me see if I can show y'all. Can y'all see it? Hey, look. He crazy. I want him to see me. Oh my God. Walked up to this woman. She looked like Angie Stone. Anyway. He is walking up to everybody asking for a fucking quarter. Anyway, I don't think he knows I'm back here, so I'm just going to try to keep a low profile. I'm not even with my cousins today, y'all. I'm out here with the white folks. Where this nigga that came from? Oh my God. Anyway, you guys, what was I talking about? Nick, what did I say? Where did I leave off? Where did motherfucker go? Y'all see? You know, living from LA, nigga, I got eyes in the back of my head. Okay, I don't fuck around. I sees all around me. Y'all think that I don't be seeing shit in this car. I be seeing everything, motherfucker. You ain't gonna get me. Okay, but anyway, Dr. Phil goes and gets Nick Gordon, and from the moment he gets out there, I mean, you could tell he's definitely drunk and high, but I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what to say. I can't tell you if he was putting on for the cameras or, I mean, it was sort of like a little bit of both, kind of. I mean, it was just two things from this. Okay, either he is faking, and if he is, he shouldn't be on TV and given a platform to, you know, kind of further advance his bullshit, or he's not faking, and he shouldn't be on TV because he has major problems. He's a drunk, he's a drug addict, and, you know, just to sit there and watch that, okay, he was up and down, you know, he's talking like this. I miss Bobby Chris, I miss Chrissy, and I miss Whitney. Oh my God, mommy. I was just like, what is wrong? I mean, it was almost like he was sort of I can't even joke about. I don't know what to call him. I mean, you had the feeling like he was mentally delayed. That's the kind of, I was just like, has he always sounded like this? I never watched their reality show, so I've never heard him talk or anything, but he was drunk, he was up and down, he was crying, then he was laughing, he kept looking at the camera. I didn't do anything. I hate Bobby Brown. I was just like, he was all over the place. One minute he was telling them that he, you know, was going to go to rehab, and then he wasn't. And did you guys see the interview? I don't even know if that was something that, I mean, I do know. That was something I feel like should not have been on television. Because either way it goes, what is it benefiting anybody? If he has a personal issue with drugs and drinking, then let the motherfucker go. You still can go and talk to him. We ain't got to do none of this on camera. And try to get his ass onto to rehab, okay? But the fact that he's on TV, even when Dr. Phil said, do you know who I am? And he was like, yes, you're Dr. Phil and you're famous like I am. Just him saying that was strange to me. You're talking about fame in the middle of all of this. Yeah, the whole thing, I was just sitting there looking like, I don't even know what to make of this. The whole thing is weird. Yes, I'm sure he's seen some shit with the Houstons and the Browns, okay? I mean, none of them families is at the top of the crop, if you ask me. I would even be willing to say that he cares for Bobby Christina and all of that. But I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes it's toxic relationships where even though people love each other, they don't need to be together. I mean, he is a drug addict and an alcoholic, and she's a drug addict and an alcoholic. How is he helping her? They haven't been able to control anything that Bobby Christina did because she's an adult and she can do what she wants to do. So kind of the family is kind of just sitting back and kind of watching her life decline. But now that she's sick and all, you know, Bobby Brown was like, that motherfucker ain't coming in here. Okay, he ain't doing it. He's not. And if they were, you know, if they had all these different rules, which I'm sure the rules was don't come in here drunk or high, and he walking around with this shit. Now who the fuck, he can't be at the Emory Hospital with this shit, falling out and crying and laughing and rushing and running up and down the hallways and all. Who the hell got time for that shit? So yeah, he, you know, they was like, nah nigga, you can't come up here with that. So I mean, the whole thing is just sad. This is sad. I'm sorry to say, but I think that we've lost our girl, Bobby Christina. You know, the longer that she is gone, you know, it just dashes my hopes of her finally waking up. Just being real with you guys. It's not saying that I want that to happen, but that's how I feel it's probably going to go down. But, yeah, the whole thing is just a tragedy, y'all. Just a mess. Did you watch the interview? What did you guys get from it? Because maybe I'm just... you know, I'm trying to look at it without having any biases, but you know, when you think about all the stories of everything that you've heard about the Houston family and him and Bobby Chris and Bobby Brown and his family, it's just kind of hard to, you know, even be sympathetic, or I don't know. Also, I will say that the Whitney Houston family did put out a statement saying that he was not there at the hotel. He did not administer CPR to Whitney Houston. So now it's just like, that nigga just didn't put that story out, you know? Like, does he think that he was there? Or is he just trying to get some extra cool points with everybody? So, yeah, I'm over it, you guys. I don't even know what else they're gonna do now to even... just seem like every time you look around, every week is something else with that family. I'm over it. Everybody is all up in arms about Joseline Hernandez being on the witness stand and giving her a deposition about the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta show and whether or not it is fake. Well, let me just back up. I had heard something about it. People started tweeting me the other day that Joseline Hernandez said on the witness stand that, you know, the show is fake and that everybody is fake on the show. So my whole thinking was like, well... since when is that a surprise? I mean, we've been watching these reality shows. We've seen how they've become a production. Okay, no longer just... I mean, the more popular, the bigger reality shows is very much a production. And they have, you know, very much set up situations. I mean, we already knew that. So when people were tweeting me and everything going on and on about it, I was just like, well, I don't even know why this is a big deal. So then I was like, you know what, let me watch the video. I still haven't seen the full deposition. I don't know if there is a video of that floating around or if there's just excerpts of it floating around. Like I saw the one that was on TMZ when the lawyer was questioning Joseline Hernandez and they asked her, you know, do they have scripts? And she said no. Well, what she said was there's a lot of people on the shows that, you know, there's a lot of acting on the reality shows. And then he asked her, was that the show really how she was? I'm paraphrasing. She says, well, yeah, even though we're acting, you know, in that show, that, you know, that isn't really a representation of Joseline Hernandez. So then I was just like, well, she ain't really said that the show is fake. What she said is what we knew, that motherfuckers be acting on there. And also I think what she meant by that was that, yeah, you see one dimension, a certain part of my life, but that's not who I am as a whole. People made it to seem like she had then got up there and said, you know, that it was fake and a phony and, you know, trying to hold Mona to the cross and saying Mona, yeah, it wasn't all of that. Now, somebody did mention that, you know, it could be problems for Mona because, you know, once people want to start suing, they can say, well, this is not the reality. This is something that this production company has set up. And in the meantime, while they're setting this shit up, I've gotten hurt. Now, sort of like what's going on right now. Althea is the reason why Joseline is even in the court to begin with is because Althea, y'all remember? Benzino's, you know, woman, she is suing Joseline for beating her up at the reunion. And I guess Althea's part of her case is saying that Mona knew that they were going to fight me and it was set up and that I didn't realize that that was going to happen and, you know, I wasn't ready and I got my ass beat. So, you know, I think that's it. And you know, because of this whole lawsuit, Benzino and Althea's off the show. So I guess Althea's really trying to go for the big bucks. But yeah, I didn't think that. I didn't get nothing out of that. Like, it wasn't her saying it was fake. It was her saying it was acting. Everybody acts on that show. Guys can look and tell. Some are better than others. But yeah, it's acting. So it wasn't no big deal. I want y'all to just relax because that wasn't nothing. Make sure this man ain't came back. I gotta go get my food. I'm at the sushi place. I ordered my food. I'm about to go in there and get it. Okay, next story. The big fight that nobody thought was gonna happen, and then it happened, or at least it's scheduled to happen. The big fight I'm talking about is the one between Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. What's his name? What Pacquiao? Pacquiao's the last name, right? What's his first name? Y'all know? Anyway, it's really happening, you guys. Finally, on May 2nd, it will be going down in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. If you are interested in going to the fight, the original ticket prices ranged from $1,500 to $7,000. But of course, you know that once StubHub and all the rest of the other ticket price gougers get a hold of all of them seats, if they haven't already. I don't know if the seats have gone on. Yeah, I guess they are on sale now. That's going to increase exponentially. Like I'm imagining 20,000 and up. Ringside seats are probably going to be just almost impossible to get a hold of. But yeah, the fight is going down, you guys. Are you excited about it? It's sort of bittersweet to me because it seems like they've held this fight off for so long. Pacquiao is not at his peak. Floyd Mayweather is definitely still very good at what he does, and I feel like it's not going to be the matchup that we really wanted, where they both was at their peak and they were fighting. I mean, even Pacquiao's trainer set it up for us already and said, you know, that Pacquiao's legs are not what they used to be. You know, he's not as fast as he used to be. He's gotten older, all of that. So it's kind of already out there that if he does lose, the reason why is because he's gotten older and this, that, and the other. They had their meetup, their one press conference or meetup I think that they're going to have, because the fight is so close. They've got to start training and, you know, getting themselves together. They met up in LA yesterday where they, you know, go on the stage and stare each other down and allow the paps and journalists and everybody else to take pictures and ooh and ah over him. Mayweather was, they say, a lot more docile than he normally is. They say Pacquiao was quite relaxed and saying that he felt good about it. He wasn't even nervous. I was like, yeah, you ain't nervous because you about to make buku money. Who gives a fuck if you lose or win? They're going to make so much money off of this fight. Pay-per-view, people that go to the fight, I mean, all of the hoopla around this is like considered the fight of the century. Yeah, they're gonna be so paid. I'm sure Mayweather will make more, but you know, fuck, I'll be relaxed too. Getting my ass up in that damn ring, and as soon as it go ding ding, a nigga just touch me and I'm out. Okay, give me my fucking money so I can go. So I'm sure it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a good fight. It'll be a fight that everybody has wanted. You know, I will say that I feel like Mayweather is going to win. I don't not like Mayweather. I just wish that somebody would knock him off his damn pedestal. But I just kind of feel like Mayweather is going to win this fight because I just kind of feel like they put it off so long, you know. But anyway, who you guys got for the fight? Who you think is going to win? Do you think the fight is going to happen? I think it's signed on now, so I think they can't back out. But yeah, you guys tell me what you got, who you got on it, putting any money on it. Do you plan on going to the fight? Earlier this week, they also released video of Suge Knight's whole incident where he, you know, ran over Terry Carter and killed him and also hit the other guy, Clay Sloan. Did you guys see the video? Oh my God, it is very gruesome. I mean, I was surprised they actually even put the video out, but we found out that Terry Carter's family wanted the video put out so that everybody can see exactly what happened. But man, if anybody got the worst end of that, it was Terry Carter. So what happens is, in the video, Suge Knight pulls up to some hamburger stand. I think it's a Tam's out there in Compton. He's in the driveway, so he's not really in the parking lot. He's just kind of in the driveway. He pulls up in his red Range Rover, and immediately when he pulls up, they're saying this guy Clay Sloan, Bone, okay, the gangster from Training Day, walks up to the car. He was working security, they say, at the movie set. He walks up to the car and he's just like, you can kind of see that there's some kind of scuffle between him and Suge Knight. He looks like he's like fighting him through the window, though. Suge Knight never even gets out of the truck. Suge Knight, evidently, you know, in an effort to try to get away from him, there's a couple of other people wandering out of this building. He throws the truck in reverse, and when he backs up, it swings the truck around the front of the truck. And that's what hits this Clay Sloan guy. So when he backs up like this, here's Terry Carter come walking, and he walks slowly. You know, he looks like he was walking across this way because the way Suge Knight had pulled out like this, it looked like he was going to back out the driveway and then go down the street this way. However, they're saying, and what's going to be part of his defense, I think, is that he didn't back up and go down the street this way is because in front of the hamburger stand, there were people there and he was afraid that they were going to shoot at him. So instead of him, he backed up like he was going to do that, and then instead he just decided to go forward. And that's where Terry Carter was walking across here. And I don't know if he saw him, he was looking over his shoulder, you know, you're not able to see any of that. But he hits Terry Carter, and when I tell you Terry Carter just bumbles and rumbles underneath the car. I mean, it just like rolls, and then, you know, he completely drives over him and keeps on going, oh, you know, out of the parking lot and wherever he went after that. I even think the people that was there even realized that the Terry Carter guy had gotten hit because it happened so quickly. But what I want to mention is while Bone was on the floor, on the ground, you know, because he had got hit originally, somebody comes out of the hamburger joint and runs up to him, and looks like they take a gun off of him and they put it the guy puts it in his waistband. So I guess so it wouldn't look like Clay had a weapon. Then I was like, well, if he's playing security there, if he's security at the movie set, then maybe he was cleared for gun, but obviously he wasn't, because they didn't took that gun. And I have a feeling that you guys, when you look at the video and then you listen and you just kind of think about how this shit go, yeah, Suge might get off, because it was sort of starting to look like an ambush. If he does get off, I'm just like, I hope he moves his ass out of LA, because it ain't gonna be good times for him. People definitely got him, you know, in their crosshairs. But yeah, I don't know, you guys. It's looking like the story that Suge Knight has come up with is, you know, pretty legitimate. But did you guys see the video? You guys tell me what you think. Do you think that he was trying to get away, or is he like really trying to just run folks over? Leave it below. Alright, you guys, let me get off of here. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure that you come back. Until next time, Roxstars.